Good morning, guys. Happy coffee talk. Tuesday morning, I think. No beautiful sky today. Sadly, I'm looking out at gray, gray, gray. But I do have a brand new coffee mug. So this coffee mug is super awesome. It is a gift from one of my Fit Me coaches, Paige. She dropped it off yesterday, and it's got like these amazing bubbles on it. It's like gray and brown. It's really cool. So, anyways, I love it, and I'm drinking the Valhalla coffee. And so it's the really strong one I was telling you about yesterday. So, before we get into the coffee talk topic of the day, quick reminder that the reset is going on right now. This is a free program that we're doing in Fit Me. I'm doing it, so let me tell you what I'm doing. So, my personal reset. So, the way it is, it's really cool. You actually can commit to a minimum of 7 days, or you can commit to the entire month, and you can pick what you want your reset targets to be. So, my reset targets that I picked for myself include I am doing hitting my water target, 30 minutes of movement or exercise every day. I'm making my bed, no fast food, which for me is just more of like convenience foods that I grab sometimes when I'm out. Protein at every meal, vegetables every day, and no sad clothes. And so those are the commitments that I've made for the rest of the month, but you could make your own. There's also break from sugar, break from alcohol, no phone an hour before bed. So you basically get to pick your reset targets and then do every single day as you start to like build momentum in January. And so I'll put the link in the show notes and a link in the comments. That way, if you are not signed up for the reset, you can sign up. We'll send you a tracker. We're putting really cool, helpful stuff in the Facebook group every single day, and you can do it too. It's completely for free. This year, Fit Me is going to be doing free programs, games, and challenges in our Facebook group every month, and the reset's our very first one. And so if you feel like you need a reset after the holidays, after holiday season, then this is for you. And you can do it with me. We can tag each other and enjoy progressing together. So, anyways, I just wanted to, in the spirit of the reset, today's topic is actually how quickly something can come up and throw off your your commitment once you've made it. So here's the funny thing that we are all like, even with the reset, we get in this mindset where like, I'm going to commit to doing this thing. And so we get committed and we're like, I'm going to at least get this far before something comes up. And I think it's surprising over and over and over again how quickly something could come up and throw it off. And so I think it's, so today's what, January 3rd? Yeah. And I felt like, oh, I'm in the groove. And then this morning, thrown off. And it's funny because it's like, I was almost in la la land, imagining that, oh, I'm going to be in the groove. I'm going to have, this wake up time. I'm going to get right to it. I've got all of these like reset targets that I'm doing. And then all of a sudden, obstacle, all of a sudden, challenge. And the myth is that these things aren't supposed to happen. That's the myth, is that you're supposed to be able to progress without life throwing you any curveballs. Come on, life. Like, stop making it difficult. Kids aren't supposed to get sick. We weren't supposed to have to need to do X, Y, and Z. And now I have to do that. And I had already committed to doing this, and I really want to be all in and blah, blah, blah. But that's just not how life works. And so it's funny to me. And I think, one of the points of this particular coffee talk is to let yourself go ahead and acknowledge up front that pretty much anything you commit to, especially when it comes to taking care of yourself, eating better, moving your body, all of those good things, you are going to get obstacles and challenges immediately. And if you can accept that and know it from the start and know like, hey, part of what I'm doing, part of what I'm committing to isn't just doing the thing, but dealing with the challenges. And I wanted to give you that frame to consider today as you're moving into the new year, because you've probably made some commitments to yourself. Maybe you, for example, you made a commitment to walk every day. So you said, I'm committed to walk 30 minutes every single day. That's my commitment to myself. I'm going to do it. So you make the commitment to do that thing because you know that walking will help you with your goals. You want to lose weight. Your knees want to feel better. You want to like have the endurance to be able to go on vacations with your family and not feel like you're out of breath. You want to be the person setting the pace when you go for a hike with your friends. Who knows? But you set this target of, hey, I am going to walk 30 minutes of every day. And so you committed to doing that. But did you also commit to dealing with the challenges that are going to come? Did you commit to dealing with the rain? Did you commit to dealing with snow? Did you commit to figuring it out when you don't have childcare? Somebody's going to watch your kids. Did you Did you commit to figuring it out when you didn't get a great night's sleep the night before and you need to do it anyway? Did you commit to dealing with those obstacles? Did you commit to dealing with it if you have to stay late at work and so your window of time for walking just got cut in half? When you make the commitment to actually do the thing, the 30 minutes of everyday walking, you also need to make the commitment to deal with the obstacles that are going to come up. Rather than pretend like they're not going to come up, commit to addressing them. Because once we start to address the obstacles, well, then you are not only finding yourself being successful with the thing you committed to, the walking, but you are developing a skill set around prioritization, and you are developing the habits that you need to keep this commitment in place long term. Because hear me out. So here's what I'm saying around prioritization. You've said you're committed to doing something. We can all say that. I could say that right now. I could say I'm committed to going to the moon. Does that mean I'm going to go to the moon? I just said it. I'm committed. I feel like it. I'm excited. I'm energized. I want to go to the moon. So saying it doesn't actually mean anything, right? So we know that. So when we say that we're committed to doing something, what we're really saying is I'm going to prioritize this. That's what that means. I'm going to prioritize this and I'm going to follow through and do it. Now, the prioritization part is the hard part. That's where we really feel that friction in our lives because we actually have to make an adjustment. Because I'd like, when you think about prioritization, I want you to think about it like a narrow line, like everything's in order, in line. And in order for something to move up in line, something else has to move back. It's not a big cluster. So if you are going to say, hey, walking is going to become a priority in my life, it needs to be in this like top 5 in this line, it needs to be up in the top 5. That means something else is moving back. And that's the part that nobody wants to acknowledge. And the skill set around doing that is what you need to develop in order to be successful. It's not that you're lacking motivation to walk. It's not that you don't want to do it. It's that the thing that actually has to change is your priorities. And so when you change your priorities around walking and you say, hey, I used to stay up late watching Netflix, but now because I'm committed to walking every morning, I'm going to not watch Netflix. I'm going to go to bed 45 minutes earlier so that I can wake up and make sure that I do my walking. You've just changed your priorities. Your priorities used to be to watch Netflix at night. Whether or not you say it or not, that's what your priority was because that's what you were allocating your time towards. It was dictating what you were able to do. It is your priority. And so instead you're saying, hey, instead of that being my priority is walking. I'm going to actually make that shift. So it actually had nothing to do with saying out loud, I'm committed to doing the walking. Nothing to do with that, and had everything to do with you shifting your priorities. And that skill set around shifting your priorities and saying, okay, well, what is the junction point or what is the source of my attention that's keeping me from doing what I need to do? Asking yourself that question and then making that adjustment, that's the commitment to follow through on. You dealt with the obstacle. The obstacle to walking was the staying up late and watching Netflix. You dealt with that obstacle and now you're going to walk. And because you dealt with it, you are also creating a more sustainable long-term change because you're not just relying on the fact that you feel like it or that you woke up motivated or that you had the perfect amount of sleep. You're not relying on that because that's not predictable. That's not something that you can keep up for a long term. What you can keep up for the long term is the skill set around prioritizing the things that are important to you and the things that are your goals, because then you can realize, okay, all right, I need to make an adjustment to how I'm spending my time. I need to say no to this and yes to this in order to be able to do the thing that I've said. And so remember, when you are committing to doing the thing, I'm committing to losing 30 pounds, I'm committing to walk every day, I'm committing to whatever it is, you need to also be committing to dealing with the obstacles. And the obstacles include whatever it is that is taking your time, attention, and energy. And reallocating your priorities can be a very important part of following through. And so as you commit to these things that you want to do, don't be surprised when the obstacles pop up. That's part of what you signed up for. It is. It's part of what you signed up for. And the commitment itself isn't that big of a deal until you follow through on it. The commitment becomes real as you follow through on it. And again, this is what is going to create sustainable change for you. The sustainable change is the fact that you're going to bed earlier. The sustainable change is that you stopped buying the triggering junk food that was throwing you off your commitment to not having it. The commitment to not having it, great. The big change that you need to make is to stop buying it and put it in your house. That's the source. So you're dealing with that. Or maybe you're having a conversation with your family around, hey, like, can we go out for this? Well, I don't want to stock the house with this stuff anymore. Like, can we do that this way? And that is addressing those challenges and obstacles. And when you do that, now your commitment becomes real. And it doesn't matter if it's perfect. So maybe one day you're like, I got 20 minutes in. I didn't get 30 in. But I did, tell my boss that I'm not staying late next time. He's got to ask me in advance if he wants me to do that. You dealt with the obstacle. You got something in. It wasn't perfect. You just keep going. You're still committed. You're still committed to doing the thing. And so I have just not heard this enough. I think people say that there's going to be obstacles, but they don't say that they're going to be like on day 2 or 3. And they are. They're going to pop up super duper fast. And so once you know that, and then you cannot be surprised, then you can know that there's nothing wrong. And you can say, like, it's not the imperfect time for me to do this. It's just, I just need to do it. I need to figure it out. I'm committed. And then your follow through will become more doable because you won't be reliant on your feelings or emotions of the day or your motivation or anyone else. You will have created that lifestyle. That's what that means. So I invite you to join me for the reset. Again, totally free. Let's do this together. Like, let's practice what this looks like. That's how you get better at something, right? You actually take the step forward, you commit to it, and then you put it into action. You start practicing it and doing it for real. Let's do that together with the reset. Sign up. I'll put the link in the comments, the link in the show notes. Thanks for plugging into Coffee Talk. If you like this episode, do me a huge favor. Screen capture it, share it, and tag me. That's the only way that people find out about it. I don't have any sponsors or anything for this podcast, so that's really the only way that people know it exists. And if you share it, it just means a lot to me because this helps somebody else follow through on their commitments because they heard this and they knew that there's nothing wrong with them, that they just had an obstacle pop up. Well, then you have made a difference for them. And I appreciate that so much. And if you are not a part of our Facebook group yet, go to Fit Me Community, request to join the group. That is where all of the fun is happening for the Fit Me reset. And there's some great stuff in there and momentum and community and support, and would love for you to be a part of it. So I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.